Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Well, it's actually New Year's Eve today as I'm recording this. I'm actually quite happy to have Christmas done and dusted. All my art swap and stitchery swap squares have gone off in the post, so I'm all clear and ready to start on lots of new projects, which I'm so excited about. Before I forget to mention, date for your diaries, next Saturday come in, the 6th of January, 8 p.m. UK time. And it's a special arty farty party live stream here on YouTube. Tom and I will be here in my craft room, and we'll be doing lots of giveaways to celebrate passing 4,000 subscribers, which is really exciting, and also just to start 2024 off with a bang. There will be lots of giveaway prizes. They have been very kindly being donated by several of my online arty-farty friends. I'm not going to go into all the details now, but watch out for the giveaway posts over the next few days, because there'll be lots of different ways to enter, as well as by joining in the live chat during the stream. So put that in your diaries. This Saturday coming, 6th of January, 8 p.m. UK time. Now I've said that, let's get to my desk and find out what I'm going to do today. So this is going to be my take on the Scrawlr challenge for box number 100. So the December box, it was lovely that 100 fell at Christmas. Made it sort of extra special. I've been subscribed to Scrawlr now for over 5 years, or almost since the early days, and I can't stop. At one point I was going to stop because I thought I had enough art supplies, but I just love getting that box of mystery art supplies every month, even if it turns out to be things I've already got, because I've got so much stuff. They get you using them in different ways or mixing them with other things you wouldn't have thought of, and the challenges always get you going, and this one is no exception. So let me show you what we got in the box, and before I forget to say, I'll put a referral link in the description box. If you follow that link, you can get £3 off your first box if you decide to subscribe to Scrawlr for yourself or for a friend. Here's what we got in the box this time. You always get a lovely art print by the featured artist, who has either been inspired by the box, or the box has been inspired by them, or a bit of both. In this case, I think, because sometimes they will use other supplies, but in this case I think, apart from whatever she's done the line work with there, I think this has all been done with the supplies within the box. And she used a brilliant idea, I thought. She used tea to stain the background and make an interesting background. And I love, she's called Clarissa Grandi. She's got a love of geometry. What I love about her work is the juxtaposition of this very controlled geometry with the sort of free-flowing organic kind of feel. It's just, I love that. I love that. She does provide, there's a QR code here where apparently you can download printable templates. I never get on very well with QR codes. I can't make my phone do them. But what I want to do is have a go at drawing some geometric shapes myself, inspired by this piece. Now I have two different ideas, so let me tell you about them. So someone else who I've been following on YouTube for a long time, who creates beautiful artworks with geometry, is Zach Corvin. I will link to him below. He is amazing. I love watching him. He's very he's got a very gentle voice, and I love the way sometimes it's just, you can just hear the sound of his pencil on the paper. Sometimes he puts gentle music in the background. Sometimes he talks you through what he's doing, and he talks about sacred geometry, which I don't fully understand it all, but a lot of his drawings start with the seeds of life, and I think this has started with the seeds of life. You from that beginning, you can create mandalas and all kinds of amazing art. So I'm going to have a go at creating a piece inspired by one of Zach's tutorials. I'm not going to show the whole thing because it's not mine to share, but I will link to the tutorial, and I would definitely say check out his channel. It's just incredible. And don't be put off because it's geometry. Maths was not my favourite subject at school by any means, and so it's easy to see a compass and a ruler and think but there is art in it, and there is meaning in it, and there's something. Although I wasn't really into maths at school, I was always fascinated by how it all worked. To me, it was like magic. It was wizardry, and things like Pythagoras and pi, and just like, how did people? I don't know. It's like magic to me, and how on earth somebody sits down and works that out. I just. But we can all, I don't have to fully understand why it works or how it works, but I can enjoy the fact that it does. So I have got 2 different ideas. I'm going to do a piece inspired by one of Zach's tutorials, and starting with the seeds of life, which is the overlapping circles. I'll show you in a minute. Also, another exciting thing, because the challenge for this month for Scrawlr, the prompt word is tessellation, which of course is interlocking shapes, and there's been a very exciting discovery only this year, 2023. This is something that mathematicians have been searching for decades, an aperiodic monotile. And so this is a shape that will tessellate with itself and create an infinite pattern which never repeats. And this guy David Smith, who lives in Yorkshire here in the UK, he describes himself as a shape hobbyist. Apparently, he doesn't think of himself. He's not an academic mathematician or anything like that. I can't remember now what his job was, but nothing to do. A printer. I think he was in the printing trade, and he discovered this shape. They call it the hat. And they called it the Einstein tile. Let me show you a quick picture of it. So here we go. This is the Einstein tile. So Einstein being also one stone. So it's like one tile. Slightly cheating, because in order for it to infinitely tessellate and create this infinite non-repeating pattern, you have to actually flip it. So in theory, it's not really, that kind of makes it 2 tiles, not 1. But I believe a few months down the line, they solved this in some complicated mathematical way I'm not going to even talk about because I don't understand. But you can see why they call it a hat. It is kind of like a wonky hat. I think it's more like a t-shirt myself, but But there it is. That is the Einstein tile, aperiodic monotile. So I want to do something with that, and apparently you can, Tom told me this, you can create the shape of the Einstein tile by first starting with a hexagon and then cutting it across into kite shapes. So I'm going to have a go at that in a minute. I'm going to have a go at making a hexagon the old-fashioned way with a compass, cutting it into kites, and then rearranging it to make an Einstein tile. The paper that we got this time is this watercolour postcard pad, which is nice, but very, very small to work on. So what I'm thinking is I can make myself a template, play around with the paints and things in the box, cut out lots of these hat shapes and then tessellate them together onto a larger sheet of paper. So that way I'm using the supplies, but I'm backing them onto something else. I might even just back them onto a piece of the box. That way I haven't cheated at all. I have put into the box an extra pencil though. I'm going to use this Pitt Graphite Matte Pencil 2B. And I've got a compass, I've got a ruler handy. So let's have a look at what else was in the box. That's the watercolour paper. You always get some kind of a substrate. It's usually a paper pad of some kind. This gorgeous set of tinted charcoal paints. So they work kind of like watercolours, but obviously different. So this was how I swatched them. You can see they've got a kind of a chalky-ish finish. And I love how the gold layers over the top of them. The white in the set actually does layer over the darker colours. You can see there where I've done that. And I love how, what's she called? Clarissa has allowed the colours to overlap here. Look how beautifully granulating they are. So I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to create my geometric shape and then I'm going to fill it with these beautiful colours. And I love how she's allowed the construction lines there to show and be a feature of the piece. I'm definitely going to be doing that. Excuse my neighbour's dog barking again. It's constant again at the moment. It drives me nuts. Sometimes I'm editing my videos, I'm editing out the dog barking sounds and then it starts barking again in real time, so I've got it in stereo. Here's the magazine which comes with the box. You always get a little sticker. I'm going to put that in my sticker stash now. And there's this lovely gold pen. So it's a Uniball Signo metallic pen in gold, which looks beautiful with these paints. And as Clarissa points out, I've done it before. I think I did it in a video just recently, actually, you can, if you're quick, if you don't let them dry, once they're dry, they'll stay put, these pens. But while they're still wet, you can get a wet brush and blend them out, as she's done there. So that's a really nice effect as well. I love the way it works with the tea staining that she's done there. And as a special extra treat for the 100th box, we got this, which is still on the card at the moment, but I will take it off and put it on my Scrawlr pencil case now, I think. We've got a number 100 there, Scrawlr pin, and you got this lovely little enamel pin with the Scrawlr logo on it. Really cute. Oh, that's a nice little extra. So first thing to do is start with the seeds of life, the beginnings of the design that I'm going to do for my piece. I'm going to attempt to follow Zach's tutorial, which is called How to Draw the 64-Star Tetrahedron. That sounds far more daunting than he makes it look, so we'll see how I get on. I'm just going to show you a couple of little snippets of me doing this. It's not my tutorial to share, but I will link. And what I'm going to do is link my geometry playlist, because it's mostly got Zach in it at the moment. And there's also one there about how to draw a hexagon with a compass, which is by someone else called Wimmus EGD. Also really worth watching. Okay, so I'm going to go quiet now and just try and follow this this tutorial. Put my meditative head on. This bit, these 7 interconnecting circles that I'm doing now, are called the seed of life. And I'm not going to try and talk about any of the principles of sacred geometry, because I won't know what I'm talking about. So if you want to know more about that, I would suggest watch Zach. He's very watchable, or listenable. You don't see a lot of him except his hands, but oops, I should have used a harder pencil maybe. Just like some, because I think you're better to see it better. Just of the wonder to me of how these things all, you just follow a certain process and these things just seem to magically happen. It's a wonder. There we go. So from this beginning, all kinds of amazing art can be created. Zach shows how to make these wonderful mandalas from this, but also these kind of more kind of geometric looking shapes, like the one I'm going to try today. So or designs rather than shapes. So I'm going to just put a bit of background music on now and just show you a little bit of me doing this. But as I say, if you want to see how to do it properly, follow Zach's tutorial. Okay, the ruler's coming out now. Gabby, look away if you're watching this. The ruler's out. So there we go, that is my 64-star tetrahedron. Who knew I could do that? Very satisfying, very easy to follow tutorial. Definitely go check Zach out. And I just found that very meditative to do, because I just follow it. It's a little bit like in the same way that you do Zentangle, you know, you're just following a pattern. You're doing the same thing over and over, and it just works out and turns into this beautiful thing. I love that. Now I've just got to add some colour. As I say, I'm going to leave my working lines there because I like the look of them. I'm just going to add some colour with these beautiful paints. Now, one of the things I noticed about the paints is that they do take a little bit longer to kind of wake up kind of normal watercolours. So I'm going to give them a good old spritz and leave them to work for a minute. There's also this lovely, I love the watercolour brush. I love that these are so portable because you've got the little stopper there. You can fill that with water, take this out with you, and assemble the pen when you're ready to use it. You've even got your little sponge there to wipe off the brush on. So I'm going to let them soak for a minute, and while they're soaking I'm going to get my hexagon drawn because I've got the confidence now. So setting my compass to the length of the what's going to become one of my sides, and then I'm putting the point in one end of the line and doing a little arc. I'm putting my point in the other end of the line, doing another little arc. Where they cross is going to be the centre of my circle. Now I'm putting the point right in the middle of that and drawing a circle. Then keeping this to the same, still to the same size, put the point back in there, across the circle, where those two lines cross. Hopefully, if I do this all the way around and I've been careful enough, as always, it's very awkward doing things arm's length under the camera. You haven't got the same sort of control. Now, hopefully, these should meet up. Yes, look at that. Isn't it just like magic? It is to me. Now, all I've got to do is join up these points. Basically, you can draw a hexagon any size you want, as long as you know. All you have to do is decide what length you want each of the sides to be. Go from there. There's my hexagon, which of course is another tessellating shape, isn't it? But the point of the Einstein tile is that it's an infinite pattern which will never repeat, which is just, and there were different mathematical ways of proving that to be the case, which I don't even begin to understand. Let's have another little spritz. These really soak up the water. So now I'll divide this hexagon in half, again and again. So essentially I'm cutting it like slices of cake. I've divided the whole hexagon into 6 little kite shapes. Now I need to cut out the kite shapes. I need 8 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got my 8 kite shaped pieces, which aren't going to be perfect, but you know, this is art. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And if you have a look at this illustration here, I love that within this you can see the hexagons. So I'm going to use the rest of these sheets of watercolour paper that I've got in here, and I'm just going to colour them with all these lovely paints, have a real good play with them. I'm going to do that first before I do my 64 star tetrahedron. Because this will be a good way to kind of play with the paints and get used to them before I do this. And then I think what I'm going to do is make up a smaller size. I'll go through that same process again and make a smaller size Einstein tile. It's going to be too big to repeat it many times anyway, isn't it? Even on a bigger piece of paper. So yeah, I need to start off with my hexagons, probably 2.5 centimetres or 2 centimetres sides. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, but you don't need to see all that. I'm just going to have a bit of a play now with these paints. Hopefully they've woken up a bit. I'm going to keep on playing with these now. I think cover all of these sheets with these paints. By that stage I should have got a good sort of feel for the paints. I'm going to let these ones dry now, and I can layer over and I'm going to start some new ones, and then when I'm ready to start assembling that piece together and painting this piece, I'll come back and show you a bit more. But I think I'm favouring going with the purpley colour blues and the greys for this. Might bring the green in, but I can't decide. So yeah, can't go wrong with sticking with the purples and blues because they're definitely going to work together. And I quite like how they're starting to look like almost like rocks or something to me, you know. Yeah, quite like that. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I've cut out all my little Einstein stones. I quite like once they're cut up. I like how, especially this is one of my favourites. Love the effects of these paints, how they work together, and I like how some of them look almost like they could be little stone tiles, which I'm guessing is where the word tessellate comes from. It's like tessellate is the Roman word for tiles, I think, isn't it? So now what I'm going to do is just use a Pritt stick and put all these together. Now mine won't be accurately cut out, but what I'm thinking is those old tiles can't have been mathematically accurate, can they? But they were put together with little spaces in between and grouted, and so what I'm going to do is leave little spaces in between, and then I'm going to use the gold pen. I'm going to leave some space around and just yeah. So I've got a few spares here. I cut out some one way round and then flipped it and cut some the other way round. But I seem to have ended up with sort of this orientation. So obviously it isn't really half and half, so that's a bit confusing. But anyway, I think this will be enough to give me the effect that I'm after. So I'm going to do this, and then I will go on to filling in some colour on my tetrahedron. Not sure how that's going to dry up. I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm going to trim them down and try and take some nice pictures of them. They didn't come out quite how I expected. This one definitely went its own way, but I'm happier with it than I thought I was to start with. This one, I think it looked better before I started adding the colour. I definitely really enjoyed doing that sacred geometry. I'm going to be doing more of that for sure. Just yeah, I couldn't get it to sort of look how I wanted it to look. Oh, as is often the way. That's me done though for now. I'm reasonably happy with them, and they definitely fit the brief, I think. So I really enjoyed the supplies. They're lovely, and I definitely will be doing more of that geometry. That is really fun. It's just like wizardry to me. It really is. Just don't understand it. Don't have to though. I can just enjoy doing it without understanding why it works. Okay, well that's it for me today. I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, but I think probably it'll be New Year's Day by the time this goes out. So So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy, healthy and creative new year. Thank you for your support all through 2023. It means such a lot to me, it really does. I hope you'll stick with me for lots of new projects that I've got planned for this upcoming year. So much going on. Don't forget, Saturday 6th of January, this Saturday coming, 8 p.m. UK time. Join us for the Arty Farty party. Lots of amazing giveaways, and watch out for the posts on the different platforms over the next couple of days or so, because you can enter in lots of different ways. I'm so I can't enter myself. I would if I could. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you again really soon. Bye. See you in 2024.